Today we're going to begin our learning targets that we are covering for Unit 3A, Graphing and Linear Functions. And the first target we are going to cover is 3.1. We're going to identify the key features of a linear function from a graph. And we're actually going to focus on three key features when we do this. The first key feature is the rise over run, or the slope of the line. So what we're going to do is count how high, how many steps up, and put that on top, and how many steps over, and put that on bottom. Now, a couple things that we'll do in addition to that is we'll pay attention to our signs. So we're going to count how many we go up or down, how many we go over, and then we need to pay attention to our sign at the end. If our line goes like this, it will be increasing, so it's a positive slope. And if your line goes like this, it will be decreasing, so it will be a negative slope. Okay, and we'll talk about that a little bit more as we go. The second thing we're going to find is the x-intercept, and that is the point where the line crosses the x-axis. And then the y-intercept is the point where the line crosses the y-axis. Okay, take a moment, pause the video, make sure you have those definitions written down so you can refer back to them as you go. And then when you're ready, go ahead and hit play, and we'll go through some examples. Okay, first graph we have here on the right side. We're going to identify the slope, the y-intercept, and the x-intercept from the graph. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to find my x and y-intercept first. So if I look at this, remember your x-axis is the one that goes across, or the horizontal axis, and the y-axis is the vertical axis. So if I'm going to find my x-intercept, I need to go on this axis and figure out where it crosses there. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4. That is at the point 4, 0. Okay, so my x-intercept is 4, 0. My y-intercept is the point where it crosses the y-axis, so this one right here. And we're going to count how many we go down. We don't go over at all, so we have a 0 first, and then we go down 2. So we have 0, negative 2. Okay, so those are easier to find. We just need to see where it crosses the axes and write that down. To find our slope, we are going to I'm going to use those 2 points just because I already have them there. And I'm going to count how many do I go up and how many do I go over to get to the next point on the line. Okay, so if you look at this, starting here, I'm going to count. I'm going to go 1, 2. So I took 2 steps up, and then I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4. So I took 4 steps over. Notice when I did that, I didn't count my starting point here. So if I'm starting here, I didn't count until after I moved. That's a key there. So I counted 1, then 2, and then I counted 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So remember, your slope is your rise over your run. So we went up 2 and then to the right 4. This line is increasing, so I know that my slope needs to be positive. We'll talk about that in a second. And I just need to reduce my fraction. So 2 over 4, I can reduce by dividing by 2 to get 1 over 2. So my slope is 1/2. Okay, and we use m to represent slope in math. So that's how you identify those key features. Let's go ahead and do another one. Okay, 2 more. We're going to identify the slope, the y-intercept, and the x-intercept. So I'm going to start with my x and y-intercept. So remember, my x-intercept is where it crosses the x-axis. So I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, so 4, 0. My x-intercept is 4, 0. And my y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. So I'm at 0, positive 2. That's a 0 there. 2. So that's my y-intercept. And then I'm going to use those 2 points to find my slope. So I'm going to draw a triangle in here to connect them. I'm going to count how many I go up or down. So starting at this point, I count when I move. So I go down 1, 2. Now, typically, I want you to ask yourself, how do I show that I'm going down? I'll put a negative sign there. Okay, and then I'm going to go over. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we go over 4. So my slope for my rise over run, we are going down 2 and over 4. Now, this line here is decreasing. It's getting lower. So that's how I know my slope needs to be negative. I need to watch my signs there. Okay? Reduce your fraction, just like we did in the last problem. It's really similar to what we had. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So my slope for this one is negative 1/2. Okay, let's do one more. X-intercept, y-intercept. Okay, so x-intercept on the x-axis is 3. Okay, so 3, 0 right there over 1, 2, 3. And my y-intercept is 1, 2, 3, 4, down 4. So 0, negative 4. We're going to draw a triangle in to connect those. And then count. Okay, so from my starting point here, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. And then from here, I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3 steps. So my slope is my rise over my run. So I went up 4 over 3, and I can't reduce that. So I'm going to leave it. Now the last thing I'm going to check is my sign. Is this line increasing or decreasing? Okay, you'll notice that it's getting higher. It's increasing, so that means my slope needs to have a positive sign, which it does. Okay, go ahead and try the next two problems there. And then when you are done, have them checked, and once you are good, you can get your homework. As a recap, we covered identifying key features of linear functions from graphs, or linear equations from graphs. So we focused on slope, y-intercept, and x-intercept. Next, we're going to talk about identifying key features of linear functions from tables. Okay, so the same things there, and you have some homework. So once you finish these two guided practice problems, go ahead and have them checked, and you will get your next assignment. Have a great day.